Hey everybody, thanks for listening to the Dumb Dad Podcast. My name is Kevin and I'm a dumb dad.
Hey, my name is Evan and I am a dumb dad.
And we're in the studio.
We're not in your garage.
We're not in my garage. For those who have been listening for a long time, they know that we have been in the garage and we're avoiding it this summer. It was
bad last summer.
It was bad last summer.
The amount of times I went home from your house after recording and I just threw my underwear away.
Mm-hmm.
No hope.
Mm-hmm.
I
really think you do that regularly.
If there's no hope, you just get rid of it.
Cheers, by the way. But yeah,
Cheers,
we're in our new studio. If you guys want to check out our social media channels at Dumb Dad Pod. These are now on YouTube, so you can watch them.
Yeah.
You can watch the full podcast.
It's your tube. See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
The
dad jokes have begun.
Yeah, well, it's a dad podcast, and here we're dads. Buddy, how are you? This is fun. This is fun sitting in here. We worked. We're pretty proud of this. I know. We're pretty excited about this right now.
To give everybody a little backstory about it real quick, what happened was my wife, my two children, and I were living with my father-in-law, and he was living here. It's pretty since day one. Like when we moved in the house, 3 days later, he moved here from Texas, and he stayed here for a few years, which was great for him. He had a lot of stuff he needed to do. He got back surgery, hearing aids, all this stuff. It was also deep COVID, and I did not trust the facility he was at. So we were like, man, you got to get out of there. So he came, lived with us. And
I mean, that was one of the biggest things early COVID was just it's running rampant through nursing homes or care facilities because they're all kissing each other all the time. Every one of it is a kissing train.
They say you only live once. That's the motto there.
and we're pretty much did that already. So,
but yeah, he lived with us for a while, and then it just reached the point where we couldn't give him the care we provided. We're getting a busier life, and then so he's back in Texas where he has family and stuff, and we have converted his room over the weekend into this studio. Yeah, so my wife flew back with my father-in-law, her father, and we hustled to get this room painted and cleaned, and then I also had two children.
Thankfully my wife
your wife was a huge help for that. Took up most of the weekend because we were in here and she was watching the kids / her kids were watching the kids. They were all kind of playing together. It was huge. But it was an exhausting weekend.
It was an exhausting weekend. Kevin and I go to the hardware store. We're picking out paint colors for the room. We're thinking what's the coolest color we can have that would work for the studio, but also work for his home, because it's also not just full blown our studio. Your wife's going to work out of here and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, this is her office that we use twice a week.
Yeah, exactly. But all that to say was funny. We picked out the colors. We thought maybe a cool blue or green would be cool. Nothing too dark. You always paint something in and it gets darker than you realize.
Always is darker.
We were avoiding that, but we definitely picked out a couple of baby blues and a couple of Easter greens or very light. They were so light.
Key lime.
Key lime.
It didn't say it. But it didn't say line.
But we did what we were supposed to do. With 3 walls, we painted the sample on the wall to take a look at it in the morning in the light, and it just looked like...
That was kind of a dumb dad moment. So we picked our 4 samples, and I had said to you, because you were like, I'm looking for some cheap brushes so we can just do the samples and then toss them. And I said, I've got some paintbrushes at home. And then you still found one that were $1 each. And I was like, oh yeah, do you know what? Grab those. I painted these samples, and there was a reason they were $1. Because, it was if the show Nailed It, where they have to make a cake in 30 minutes or something. Yeah. It was somebody had to do that with paintbrushes in 30 seconds.
Make a paintbrush in 30 seconds.
And it was literally I was painting a sample and just looking at all the brush,
the bristles
that are just sticking to the wall because they all just came off. It was like painting a wall with your dog. Just running him up
tail,
and down. Just came right off. So I was like, perfect.
Paint's on the wall. What can I tell you? It's a sample. Okay, so I brought my dumb dad moment this week. I had a pretty good one that I didn't really have to pay for, which is rare.
I don't know what that means, but okay.
I'll tell you what I mean. So my son's been reading this book series called The Bad Guys.
Okay.
And it's sort of like graphic novels, and I think they have 16 books or something. There's a bunch of them. They're about 100, 150 pages a piece. And he's 6 books into it. So I think what's happening, they had a movie come out, okay?
Yep.
So it just came out on Friday, 5 days ago or whatever. But he's been reading the book series. And then we found out the movie's coming out, and he's like, oh, man, I can't wait. And we kind of figured out, like, it's about through book 6 or whatever. Like, you got to get through at least book 6, then we can go see the movie. So he was just powering through these books, really wanted to see it. It's about, like, the big bad wolf, the snake, tarantula, all just historically bad guys. And so they do bad things because that's what they're meant to do. It's the premise of the beginning of the film. So we had a plan to go see the movie for, I don't even know, a month, at least a couple months. He was really excited. So here comes Friday. I mean, he's like in the morning on the way to school. He's like, I can't wait for tonight. I was like, I got a lot of stuff to do today. You got to go to school. Let's make a deal. Let's just go work hard at the stuff we have to do. And then I'll pick you up from school and we'll play and have fun. And then we'll go see an awesome movie in the theater. Like, let's just get our stuff done during the day. He's like, no problem. So, but I mean, as soon as I pick him up from school, he's like, I can't wait for the movie. I mean, he was already jazzed. I mean, he's just waiting all day for it. So I think the movie was at 7. So we had like a little bit of an earlier dinner. We take off at the movie theater is like 10 minutes from our house.
Right.
And the movie was at 7. We left at like 6:35, just after 6:30.
Plenty of time to settle in.
Plenty of time to settle in, get some refreshments, do the whole thing, right? So we're like, we get in the car. We're starting the car to leave. He's like, I'm worried we're going to be late. And I was like, we're not going to be late. I mean, it's like, it's not even 10 minutes. It's 8 minutes, really, is what it is. He's like, okay, okay. But I could hear in his voice, he's just that uncertainty of like, all I know is I really want to go see this movie, and I don't really know how to tell time very well.
Don't blow this for me.
Or how long it's going to take to get there. Any of that stuff is just kind of surfacing, and he's not really sure what to think about it. So we pull up to the theater. It's like 6:41. Basically, we do one pass. It's to one, trying to find a parking spot. We do one pass, didn't see one. He's like, what if we can't find a parking spot? I'm like, dude, we're so good here. We're so good here. And so we find a parking spot right away. We get out of the car. We walk in there. There's one person in line buying tickets in front of us. The refreshment line is pretty busy. It's not like a major theater. I think there's 8 theaters in there. Yeah. So it's sort of like a smaller theater. All that to say also, like, there's like 3 movie times per movie. Yeah. If that. So Bad Guys had 7 o'clock showing and a 10:35 showing. So, and it was opening night. So I will say that it was opening night, which is also funny. It's like a kids movie. 10:35 is the second showing.
You didn't pre-buy the tickets, huh?
Didn't pre-buy the tickets.
Wow. I can't remember the last time I've done that.
Yeah. That's the dumb dad moment.
Okay.
Now, it's a small enough theater. I don't know that you can do that. I actually didn't look to see after the fact if that you could do that or not.
You can do that every
should
theater,
be able to either way. But so we get in line, and I'm like, 2 for the Bad Guys, 1 adult, 1 child. He goes, yeah, I mean, it's pretty much sold out. And like my heart sank. And Emmett didn't really hear him.
Yeah.
He didn't really hear him say that, but he goes, here you go. And he turns the monitor around to show me. You tell me, where'd we sit?
Front row.
Front row all the way to the left.
Oh.
There were like 5 seats left. The 2 we sat in were available, front row all the way to the left. And then there were like 1 and 1 sparsed in the middle of the theater somewhere, like just 1 seat, like single seats. So there we were. And he looks at the thing and goes, whoa. I go, all right, man, front row. And he goes, whoa, front row.
I know.
And I didn't want to tell him
that it's
like, God, this is going to be the worst. Yeah. So I was like, yeah, we're in the front row. And he's like, oh, man. So we walk in. The crazy thing is the movie's sold out. We walk in. We get our refreshments. We walk in. It's like 7:49, 7:51. Something about
6:49.
Sorry, 6:49. About 10 minutes left.
Yeah.
And so we hustled in, and the theater's like still pretty empty.
I think it's COVID because we saw
No, it's not.
It filled out?
It filled out. There's like 40 minutes of pre-movie attractions. Commercials for the theater, regular commercials. And then about 25 minutes later, then we start the previews. I mean, it's so all that passes and it fills up pretty nicely. And then it's a nice full theater. But I mean, full theater. This theater does have the seats that has like a push button where it reclines pretty far.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, man.
No.
Even still, not enough for a 40-year-old male that I'm doing I'm looking up, and then I'd sit up for a little bit and stretch my neck the other way. And
Yeah.
I'm preemptively like, this is not going to go well for me tomorrow morning. I was fine, but I really was trying to be conscious of like not sitting in one position the whole time.
Yeah, that's the right call.
But he had the time of his life. Certainly my dumb dad moment was thinking like, we're good. Like, buddy,
right.
You're freaking out. We're good. He doesn't know that it's opening night, and for that reason, he's just thinking like, I don't want to miss the movie. What if we miss the movie? I'm like, we're not going to miss the movie.
I know. That's why I was surprised you didn't explain to him. And it's not really COVID related. It's more that he's so young, but it's like, man, you don't understand the experience of an opening weekend trailers. They attack you with trailers and commercials,
and they were good. The trailers were good. Minions 2 trailer. Remember the guy that made him that drawing?
Yes.
So we saw the trailer for that movie. I was like, the director of that movie, that's the guy that drew that thing. And he was like, oh, man. He was pumped. So we saw that trailer for the new Lightyear movie, Buzz Lightyear.
I saw the new trailer for that.
Being back in the theater again was really awesome. I mean, it was just getting to see like a movie in the theater, big crowd. It was like he had the time of his life. He couldn't say how much he liked it after. He was just like...
Was that his first movie?
No. He saw Cars 3 in the theater. I mean, actually, I think Cars 3 might have been his first movie. A while back now. I couldn't wait. When he would hold his attention for a movie for most of a movie, if not most of a movie at home, that's when I knew like it'll be good because nothing else is going to distract you in the movie theater. If you can make it through most of a movie as a kid, only getting distracted a couple times, you're ready for the theater because it's a huge, you're ready to go.
Toy Story 4 was my daughter's first movie-going experience, and she was really good. And then the credits started, and she just was like, I think it's over. So she just got up and started dancing in the aisles, and we were like, yeah, this is fine. It's just the credits. It's fine.
Because we've been sitting for a while, and I eat candy, and my legs are jumpy.
Yeah. Things are moving, and I'm sitting still.
I mean, walking out of it, and even the next morning, he was like, that was just like, that was so fun. He just loved every second of it. It was awesome. It was great.
That's cool.
And I almost made it so we missed it.
You sure did.
So
I don't even want to say.
Pretty lucky.
I don't want to say you lucked out. I mean, you sat in the front row.
Yeah, it didn't feel like we lucked out. It was, man, that was so funny when the guys just pretty much told that, here's the seats, and I see like the 2 green dots next to each other. I was like, oh, man.
Yeah.
This is going to be long.
That's brutal. I've had a week in general. So I had on
the big preparation
Friday.
for sending Phil out of here.
Sending Phil
It's kind
away.
of a big, it's packing all week, getting ready all week, clearing stuff out all week. That's already sets the week off like with
just exploring all of that stuff. But here's the thing. To start off the week, this past Friday, let me rewind. I'll leave it a little earlier than that. Somebody was like, hey, we need the name of all the parent volunteers. Anybody who's helped because the school is putting together, what they do the tea for and all the parent volunteers. And I was like, oh, that's cute. They give us all like a shirt and, I'm sure it just says thank you for volunteering in 2022
staff.
Yeah.
Right
staff.
across the shoulders like a concert shirt.
Exactly. So then it comes up to the week and somebody goes, hey, we need you to sign up, for the tea. And I was like, oh yeah, sure. So I sign up for it. And once they give me the paper, I see it's spelled TEA. It's tea. It's actual tea. Not a shirt. And I was like, what am I signing up for?
I thought we were playing golf. What's going on?
What is going on? That was a tea time. But I was like,
it is a tea time. What?
Why is it spelled this way? So they were like, well, on Friday, the school you're gonna come in and they're gonna like celebrate you with some tea. And I was like,
oh, please, no, thank you.
Did I say yes? I feel like I said no. They said no. You said you really wanted the tea. I was like,
I said that.
I did. I
with
said
my
I
mouth?
wanted a tea.
I sent it to you out loud. It was more of the look. The look you did.
So I signed up for it and I went and it was very nice. Listen, the gesture was very sweet.
Of course.
And I did appreciate it, but I get
It was a big butt.
unsettlingly uncomfortable when I don't know, people are just like, thanks for like being involved. And when I was like so
The celebration of you is not like the most fun.
no. No.
I will say
the
this.
thoughts in my brain are never celebration in general.
You kind of want the validation, right? Like as an actor, I appreciate the validation, not in front of me. I don't want to be there. Maybe.
Yeah,
You know what I mean, though.
I listened to Conan O'Brien talk about it to another actor, and he said the way he described it was like, I just want to be in front of people all of the time and doing things,
making them laugh.
But the second you want to say something nice about me doing that, I want to get out of there.
You can get the hell out of here.
And that's how I am. Like, I want to grind it out with the PTA and do what I can for the school. And even more so, like, it's different with like us doing like social media and acting and stuff. Like that for sure, I don't want to hear it. But like for school stuff, I have like the privilege of being able to be a sort of stay-at-home dad.
Yeah.
So to me, it's like, well, of course I'm going to be involved. Don't give me a high five for it. My kid does go to the school.
Yeah.
Like I am getting something out of this when I do these things.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got a certificate. They gave me a certificate.
You showed it to me. It's a really nice certificate. It's
Thank
one
you.
of those things they probably order. You know, they order 50 of them, and when they feel like once in a while, when somebody deserves one, they print their name right on there, and you get it. But it definitely looks like it's an elementary school certificate of validation of something you did. Whether it's like you listened.
It's not dissimilar to my daughter's student of the month.
Yeah, that's what I really like about it, because it's like it's sort of that like, we validate you and we see you and thank you.
Yeah.
And here's this. Then like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do with that? You're gonna frame it? You should frame that.
If it did not have information of my daughter's school, it would be on the wall.
It would be on the wall in here so fast
as we record this, and I might redact it and still post it. I did appreciate it, though. I don't want to sound ungrateful, but it was.
No,
but that
I don't think you sounded grateful. I just think it's funny that they're gonna set aside the time to like really thank you and appreciate you and give you a certificate, and you're like, I don't want this. What are we doing?
And we're sure I'm not getting a shirt because I was
Is
cool.
this like I have to hang on to this to get my shirt?
Yeah.
I have to present this to get my shirt?
I give you a tea bag and you hand me a T-shirt.
What's happening right now?
So that has been like that kicked off the week, and then
that sounds like you kicked off the week with a celebration of
with
you.
A celebration, and then what I've been going through this week, which has been kind of wild, is my son he's going through a crazy phase. He's going through the whatever. I don't even want to call it three-nager. Like, I feel like it's more like terrible twos.
It's 3 Rex, I thought.
3 Rex is probably closer because he's just a wild animal.
And
like,
likes
he's
dinosaurs.
not like... I'm assuming three-nagers because their emotions are all over the place.
His are not anywhere.
His are not. His are just still base instinct.
Like a T-Rex.
T-Rex. Survival mode.
If something's moving, he's going to chase it.
So
if it's not moving, he's probably going to leave it alone or just fall over it.
So he's been pretty wild lately, and I mean, like, he's been like getting under my skin, and it's like when when it's good, it's good. When it's not, it's like
the fuse with you is short.
The fuse with me is short, and I had to.
Did you have that with your daughter very much?
I bet I did, not as much.
My wife notices that too. Like, my daughter gets under her skin faster.
It's because
my son gets under my skin faster.
That's what I was gonna say. Is like, this is kind of like an obvious thing to say when people are like, you think you raise your kids the same, you don't. You raise them different, and that's an obvious thing. But it's obvious not because like you change your parenting styles. It's because you're doing something else. It's like waiting tables. If you had one table to wait on, you're going to give him pretty good service.
Yeah.
But if you got sat 3 tables at once, you're going to get a little bit everybody. Everybody's going to get something.
Everybody's going to get a little bit of each other's meal because they're
And,
probably going to get that wrong too.
It's going to be, oh, I forgot you ordered that. All of that stuff. And that's what parenting is. And that is definitely what I'm going through with my son. And I got really pissed off at him. I didn't like flip out at him, but I like, it was one of those, like, I went and talked to my wife and I was like, he's just really pissing me off. Like, and she was not empathetic. But it was good. It was a good reminder. And she didn't give me the like he's a kid thing because she understands the frustration of like that's. But she was just kind of like you're getting like you're too annoyed.
That's like one of those things too. Like when somebody says like, "Well, he's just 3." It's like that's
no
such a bullshit answer right now. I know he's 3.
I know he's 3. He's still tapping me on the forehead every 5 seconds. Like
he's 3, Kevin. You got to give him a break, dude.
Yeah, that's my takeaway too. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. I need to talk to Evan real quick in private. I did have a reset like in the last week or so, where it was just like, all right, I need to be more patient. I need to like take a step back. I need to like stop letting this. You know what it was? It was that he was acting really. On the same day where I told my wife he's pissing me off, he was acting like such a dick, like just like bad, but like bad behavior stuff. Like
it's when he's trying you because he knows like this gets a reaction.
But he's not just trying me. He's like, you know, he was like throwing stuff at his like sister, like throwing like, you know, dolls at her head and stuff, and just like really bad behavior. And that was actually what kind of hit the light switch for me. I was like, I'm not reacting appropriately to him and giving him the leadership that he needs, like the guidance. And then I'm like, oh no, he's going to be an asshole and it's going to be my fault.
Yeah. if it continues in that way.
So that was a big reset for me that I had to like take a step back. And so far, I'll keep you updated. But so far it has been kind of like a light switch where like nothing, like it's a full reset of like, oh, his behavior is similar. It's actually already noticeably gotten better because now that I'm like more patient with him, removing him from situations, talking to him. The hard part is he's 3. So like I can talk to my daughter about something she did wrong and we'll talk through it. She's at
talk through
that
it. She'll
age.
Understand where you're coming from, acknowledge it, and then forget it a half an hour later. But at least you can see in her eyes that like this should stick eventually.
Yes, exactly.
Whereas
like
he's just
progress of some kind is in there somewhere. Yeah, with a 3-year-old, it's not like
he's just like white. It's like white noise.
I've taken him. I mean, he's big into dinosaurs for those who are unfamiliar with the podcast. And I mean, I'll take him out of a room and been like, hey, you can't throw that at, at people, throw things at people, whatever. And he's in my arms just snarling at nothing, not even me. Like he's just
like you're not. Yeah.
And I'm like, I can't, I just have to be patient. He's at that age where it's like, no, there's no reprimanding. There's no pulling them aside. Like I can still try to, and it still sometimes works. But sometimes it's not going to, and sometimes you just gotta that's just repetition. And if I keep the my attitude in check, like, because that's my thing. That's like my mantra right now. It's like he's gonna be a dick if I don't fix this behavior. Now, cut to yesterday. Was it yesterday?
Yesterday was definitely.
It was today.
It was today. So many hours ago.
It was today.
So many hours. It was only, more than 4 hours ago. Might have been yesterday.
It was today. It was 5 minutes ago.
We were late recording because of this moment.
And I know you had mentioned something about this, but my wife and I are pretty adamant about. There's like certain things, like obviously like knives and dangerous weapons, we won't leave in the reach of children.
Sure.
But for the most part, we've been pretty.
Because you're so soft.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Knives will puncture. But like my wife and I were just like, I don't know if we just didn't care to like do certain parenting things. Like we never really got a baby gate, and we never got like the soft corners for like the coffee table. It's no judgment. We just didn't want those things like in our life. So especially with our daughter, with only one kid, we were very good about being like, hey, we're not going to play with that. And just kept doing that until she was like, every time I do, and then gave up.
Yeah.
My son is not that person. Maybe the baby gate is needed, or I don't know,
a leash or something, like
a collar.
Spray the things that he's not supposed to touch with like a pepper spray, and he's like, "Oh, this is spicy."
I'm sick. That's what he said the first time he had hot sauce. I'm sick. Yeah, that was my favorite reaction to hot sauce ever. But anyway, we leave things in his reach. And we paid for it today because, and you had mentioned something about this. So today we put him down for a nap, and he's in and out of his room and just running around like a wild man. And next thing we know, he's in this very room that we are in now, which is the new office.
The new office with stuff he's probably not allowed to touch.
And he has dumped the entire container of fish food in the fish tank.
Yeah.
All of it is in there.
I knew that one was coming
because
when we were in here the other day, sort of like staging what we thought how we could shoot this, he came running in here because we put the fish tank lower here, over here with the little fishy.
Yeah.
And he comes over there, and your wife is working. And he comes over and he's like looking at it, and she's like, "There's your fishy, there he is," and we don't touch him. And he starts banging on the glass, and she's like, "Yeah, we don't bang on the glass." And he goes like, "I want to feed him right now." And she goes, "But when we do, we don't feed him very much, and so we just look at the fish and we don't touch him." And he reached for the tank and like moved the tank, and she's like, "Yeah, see, like that. That's we don't do that." And he was just like, "I'm gonna do all of these things to the fish.
I'm gonna do all of it."
The problem is you're in here talking to me about it, and like when you're gone, I'm going to do all this
do
stuff.
What I have to do. So
he's
always been like the fish tank's always been in reach for him. And he's done that before with like putting a little too much food in the past. I just get out the old micro strainer and I just scoop it up, and it's whatever.
I mean, that's part of having a fish, right? But at the same time, it's just so funny that like it's been within reach for like a year. Yeah. And like we move it, and he's like, "This is a brand new idea."
This is a brand new idea. The problem was the dumbed down idea wasn't that the fish was more accessible. It was that we, in decorating or setting up this room, we had left the fish food in a location. That was the thing. Like we've always kept fish food high. Anyway, the fish is dead. It died. R.I.P. Inky. What my daughter named him. And we buried him when my daughter got home from school. I mean, we didn't bury him.
Were you burying him?
No, we didn't bury him because we have a dog. We flushed him.
You just gave him to the dog.
Just like, here you go.
Did you flush him?
Yeah, we flushed him.
Did you have a ceremony?
Did
you say some words?
We waited until we said some words, and my daughter was there, and
hope he flushes because he looks really full.
She was funny because she's still at an age where like she's not overly emotional in that way, and it's like probably a good thing, but we were just like, we were like, Inky died. He's dead, and she went, "So we're gonna get another one?" I was like,
"Whoa,
we are." But it's pretty sad.
That's so funny. Like my son would have come unglued.
Yeah, your son's very emotional. My daughter
super
is
emotional.
My daughter is very.
She's a robot.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get another one.
She gets sad about some stuff, and I think once we start
your
talking,
brother murdered him.
Yeah.
On purpose. Right.
Here's the thing.
Copy that. I'll get all that. Can we get another fish?
Nobody's certain who killed the fish. It might have been all of us. Hear me out. Oh, actually, you know what? All this happened yesterday. He was dead this morning. That's what it was. We found him this morning. But
Yeah.
the incident happened yesterday.
But you know what it was.
I know what it was. Here's the thing. He dumped all the food out. My wife called me when I was out. And she's like, it's bad. It's in the filter. It's everywhere. Like, there's just pellets everywhere. Not the fish. The fish is fine.
I thought you meant the
No,
fish.
no. The fish didn't die instantly.
You went through the filter.
So
and
I
they
told her-
shredded them everywhere.
I told her, I said, I was like, well, get the fish in a bowl with no food. And just like separate them. Get them with some of the water. And I just went to the fish store. And I got some more rocks because I was like, those are just this food, you can't get them out. It's just covered in food now. So I got like new rocks and I got like new water treatment drops and more fish food. And then went back and I carefully switched it all out. I didn't read the packaging. This is where we don't know who killed the fish. But my son initiated it, so it's certainly his fault. I whisper it to him at nap and bedtime. You killed the fish.
You killed the fish.
You're the reason he's dead. Is what I say. So that way it's not you killed him, but you're definitely the reason.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. You started all this.
But apparently you're supposed to, even if they say pre-rinsed on the rocks, you're supposed to wash them.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I didn't do that.
Oh, you killed the fish.
Yeah, I might have. We don't know. But I wouldn't have had
we don't know. But we got a pretty damn good idea.
The problem is everyone made a mistake. You know what I mean? Everyone did a bad job.
Let's talk about doing a good job.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I experienced a good job today. My son got braces today.
Oh, what?
Yeah. How about that transition?
Did you know that was gonna? You must have known. They just throw
We
those
know.
on
Yeah,
there?
we knew. He's had the expander in his mouth.
Yeah.
And that was all to get these other teeth like moving in to position here. But
Yeah.
he's got a big gap in his front teeth and everything. So it's been the plan the whole time.
Yeah.
Expander in, make some room, teeth come down, then let's start organizing them. Because they're not filing in any sort of order.
Mm-hmm.
From now on, it'll be like the tightening of it, and then he'll be sore and stuff like that. But here's what's so funny about this kid, man. So because he's got a gap in his two front teeth, there's like 2 or 3 other kids in his class that have the same gap in their teeth.
Uh-huh.
They created the Jack-o'-lantern Club.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Which I thought was for what you would think maybe a kid would go through with having teeth like that. They're like, we're in the Jack-o'-lantern Club because we have jack-o'-lantern teeth, and that's how it is.
That's
like,
incredible.
That is such a creative and an awesome way to own it, right?
Mm-hmm.
His biggest worry last night, which was, I don't know if I'm going to be allowed to be in the Jack-o'-lantern Club anymore. Now, if I'm going to get braces on my feet, my teeth are going to have...
Find me a jack-o'-lantern that has braces.
And we were like, first of all, you can be in the Jack-o'-lantern Club because you started it. You're a creator. Okay, so whatever happens to you, and it's also it's not like you're going to get braces.
What is the power structure? Is it they vote them out? Is it their? I mean, what are we talking about here? Investors?
Yeah, he only showed me the mission statement. He didn't show me anything beyond that.
I mean,
but it's also like you're not going to get braces, and then in 2 days it's going to be closed up. It's going to be a while.
Yeah, that's true.
But so all that to say, I was like, are you nervous? And a little bit today on the way there, and he's like, yeah. And I go, well, what are you nervous about? He's like, I don't know. So it's like, okay, you're just generally nervous because you don't even know what they're gonna do. And he's like, is it gonna hurt? I'm like, no. It's like they're gonna glue the things to your teeth and then assemble it all. It's what they're gonna do. And he's like, oh, okay. So he went with like clear braces, got the wire, and they put little rubber bands around it to hold it in place. He got a little red. They let him pick like a color wheel. Yeah. But he was great, man. He laid there patiently. This lady's trying to put the wire on there. They're gluing the thing. And he was just laying there really patiently. And we're trying to be supportive the whole time. I told him, like, look, the expander in your mouth, not the most fun thing to have. I get that. Yeah. You're going to put braces in your mouth. You're probably the only kid in your class with braces in kindergarten. Maybe one other kid I don't even know. But
he's in first grade.
I mean, first grade. Sorry, first grade. But I mean, like, there's other kids that he knows that haven't even lost teeth yet. He's lost like 6 teeth. Yeah. He's got adult teeth coming in. We're starting to organize and put braces. Like, he's going through this stuff early.
Way too early, yeah.
Meaning, kids are going to say all kinds of stuff potentially to him, right?
Maybe. He might be
Maybe
too young
not.
for it.
Maybe not. But I was like, here's the thing. It's hard to explain to you, but like you're going to grow up and have a nice smile. They're going to be, you're going to have straight teeth and a nice smile. And we're just going to do it now because that's the way it is. And I know that's hard for you to understand, but that we'll do it together. It's not going to be all on you. Mom and dad are going to help you. We got to cut food for him, and you can't pull anything off the bone, like all that kind of stuff you can't do. And he gets him installed in his mouth, and he sits up, and they give him a mirror, and he goes, I think it looks kind of cool. And I was like, I mean, that's great. Don't lose that attitude.
Yeah.
But it was just hilarious to him. He's worried about it, and
Sure.
keeping the jack-o'-lantern. And he sits up and he's like, yeah, these look great. I was like, sweet.
No notes.
No notes. These look awesome.
That's amazing.
That's great. And he's like, did you ever have braces? I was like, no. I'm the wrong person to talk to. But your mom had everything you had. Expander, headgear. He doesn't have to do that now, or at least I don't know now, but he doesn't have to do that now. But she had headgear at night, retainer, top and bottom row braces, all that stuff. And I was like, so your mom did it, and it's, she's got a pretty smile. So, if you want to look like me and Kevin, where everyone is like, there's too many people at the concert in the bottom row.
It's just a broken cartoon piano. That's what it looks like.
See, we have character. You're not going to have any character. You're just going to have a really nice smile.
Every time a piano falls on Daffy Duck, I was like, hey, it's the bottom row of my teeth.
But there you go. Got him installed. He was a trooper the whole time. The lady was like,
That's
you
awesome.
did a great job. Braces in.
Braces in.
The pearly white saga continues.
What is that, 2 years?
What do you mean? How long he has to put him in? I don't know how long they're going to be in. I mean, it's different now. Like when we were younger, you wait for all your adult teeth to come in, and then if they come in straight, fine. If they don't, then they work on it. You get braces, you adjust it.
Yeah.
There's enough technology now. They can figure out like what's going on early, whether they're coming in early.
The impact is not great.
So he does it now. They don't, rather than having braces 5 years from now,
Right.
they do it now.
Yeah, get it over with now.
So get it over with now. I mean, and so I think at the same time, they probably do it when your adult teeth start coming in and they're not spacing themselves properly.
Uh-huh.
But he's just 7 and he's got like his adult teeth coming in.
That's wild.
Some of his adult teeth weren't even coming in because there wasn't even enough room, which is why we needed to put the expander in the first place, which is just wild. You put the expander in, a month later, his 2 teeth that were like nowhere to be seen are like halfway down.
There's like, finally.
Oh, jeez. It's crowded up there. So,
wow, good for him.
So good for him. He's growing up, and it sucks. We don't have babies anymore. I don't understand it.
Yeah. And my daughter still got her baby teeth. We'll see.
That's crazy. What are they? It's a year and a half or so? She's fine.
Yes, a year and a half.
About a year and a half?
Yeah.
She has not lost a tooth. He had lost like 4 teeth by then. She's just hanging on to him. She's
a pack rat.
She's a pack rat.
She's a hoarder.
She's going to collect them.
She's a hoarder, just like the tooth fairy. Holds on to as many teeth as she can.
Creepy.
Creepy.
She's going to trade your teeth for some money.
Yeah.
Where does she get the money? I don't want to know. What's she doing with children's teeth? I don't want to know.
Honestly, it could be something innocent, like she has like a Etsy shop and she grinds down the teeth and makes like small chessboards with them, and you can get these nice ivory chess pieces,
like travel boards or something.
Yeah, for like ants or grasshoppers. It'd have to be really small creatures for children's teeth to make a chessboard.
This is a beautiful piece here. The board is made of bicuspids and molars, and then the pieces are.
Maybe the boards are made of like that metal used in cavities. If like a kid had to get a cavity, she's like, "Oh, sweet, more board material,
more board structure." Yeah. What is happening?
I don't know. We could go on for way too long.
We could do this for a long time.
We have a submission of a dumb parent moment, and I'm gonna read it to you. If you guys ever want to do these, you guys can email us dumbdadpod@gmail.com.
Or DM.
Or
Slide
DM
into
us
the DMs.
at dumbdadpod on Instagram. Hit us up. We love reading other people's stories.
Tell us. Write about your woes.
Please do
Please.
that.
Please. So that we feel better.
This is from Kristen. Kristen, thank you for the submission. So it says, hello, Dumb Mom and huge fan here. I'm in the middle of listening to your most recent episode and had to stop to tell you about the dumb mom moment I had just last week. A little background. Pre-COVID, my husband traveled for work all the time, so I was very used to single momming during the week with my now 3.5-year-old. Last week was the first time he's traveled since the pandemic began, and also the first time since our son, 10 months, was born. When I got out of the shower at 6:30 last Tuesday, my daughter was awake and crying, very unusual. She was complaining that her tummy hurt, also unusual, but like most 3-year-olds, she has a flair for the dramatic. I managed to get both of us ready and convinced her to try eating some applesauce and dry cereal while I got the baby up. I had a very important in-person meeting where I was going to lobby for a promotion at work on the calendar that morning, so you can imagine my irritation when I come downstairs to her, throwing an absolute fit with most of her breakfast running down the front of her shirt. Through my tears, hers, I got her cleaned up, changed her clothes, and convinced her she'll feel so much better once she's at school with her friends. First time I read this.
But she had a big meeting, right?
Red flag.
Yeah, red flag. You had a big meeting that you really can't miss. It's in person.
Yes, for a
Massive
promotion.
Red flag. Yeah.
Halfway through the 20-minute drive to school, I'm starting to think I just might make it to my meeting on time after all when she throws up all over herself in the back seat. I guess her stomach really did hurt. I later I later found evidence that she had also thrown up earlier, which is how her breakfast had ended up all over her shirt, which is funny because when I first read this, I was like, oh, she barfed on herself. And then I continued reading the story, and I was like, uh-oh, Mom didn't pick up on that she barfed on herself.
She previously barfed on herself.
She's never puked before, and I honestly don't think she knew what was happening. It can be really scary for kids. I remember the first time my daughter threw up, I caught it, and I hugged it. I hugged her vomit into my arm and just let it kind of fill up my elbow, and you got to get out of there.
Yours the opposite of her. That's how sentimental you are.
Yeah. We put it in a bag. It's in her baby book. It's in a Ziploc. Okay. Since we were already halfway there, I decided to at least drop the baby off at daycare, who spiked a fever 2 hours later and had to be picked up. Thankfully, my boss's boss has a kid my daughter's age and just got over a stomach bug in their house, so they were understanding when I had to reschedule our meeting. Thanks for making your podcast. I look forward to listening every week and always leave feeling seen. You're a gift to dumb parents everywhere. Hope Lucy recovers quickly. Thank you very much. My daughter broke her arm last week. She is in week 1 of her cast, and she's recovering nicely. But thank you for bringing it up, and thank you for sending it, Kristen. And she also said, P.S. My mom is not a nurse, but I send her my rash pictures too.
Anyway, just to send him...
Just to, keep Grandma's bucket full.
Yeah, exactly. You never send me pictures. You never send pictures of the kids. Here, look at this arm. Look at her arm.
What do I do? Did I ever have this?
Disgusting.
So that was great.
Did I ever have this?
That was great. Thank you for sending that. That's a great story. It's funny when you read a story, because I really did. I read this story earlier, and when I read it, and she was like, I come downstairs, and she's throwing a fit with food running down her shirt. I went, oh, she threw up. And then the story continues like, you'll be fine when you get to school. And I was like, oh, she doesn't know she threw up. She
doesn't know she threw up. She's never thrown it before. So
and it's funny hearing,
spilled it everywhere.
Yeah, it's funny reading the story that she wrote and going, uh-oh, no, go back. It's like watching a horror movie where you're like, don't go in that room.
Don't go in that room.
Don't go in that room.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
So that was delightful. Thank you very much for sending that along. That was really fun. Let us know your dumb parenting stories. And then follow us on our social channels at Dumb Dad Pod, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Dumb Dads. We are going to be posting this podcast, and we've got some long form stuff coming up very soon.
Very soon.
Around Father's Day, we will have a few videos up by that point. But our podcast is going to start right away. So real quick, I'll just give another thanks to at Verdu on SoundCloud for the intro and outro. and everything in between. And thanks as always to my lovely wife, Annie, for editing the podcast. Evan, do you have a joke to take us out?
I got a joke for you. Ready? Here's one.
Okay.
Why couldn't the bicycle stand up by itself?
Why couldn't the bicycle stand up by itself?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Why?
It's too tired.
Oh, okay.
Too
No, I get
tired.
No, yep.
So it would need like a kickstand, or you have to lean it up by itself. Yeah, you need a kickstand or something. Okay, that's it for us this week.
Okay, bye. Welcome to the world, little one. Welcome to life.
How do I stop this?